All right, guys, we are here with a really, really special Schmoedown Reactor Summit. A very special one. We didn't do a normal episode because life gets to you sometimes. Some of us are real busy with work, but we always take time out of our schedules to talk to champions, specifically the one, the only, the Mike Kalinowski. He's here with us today to talk about his Innergeekdom Championship, and as everyone knows on the show, I always vote against him. But this time,
you're with everyone. Everyone votes against me, but it's okay.
It's okay. Sometimes sheep just can't change their ways. Their wool is set on them. I don't know.
There was the poll leading up to my match against Rachel, and people had me in the lead. Like it was like by 1 or 2 votes, but I was like, nah, I don't like this. I like being the underdog. I was like, no, I don't like that.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be the underdog anymore after the domination that you've shown the last couple months. I just can't imagine that people are going to keep voting against you. But we'll see, because you've got like 1 million matches coming up in the next couple months. But let's talk about your Innergeekdom Championship, because you are officially a 2-time Innergeekdom belt holder. You've won it twice. It's a great achievement. The progress you've made is incredible. Looking at how you played a year ago to how you're playing today, it's like 2 different competitors. You can tell how much work you've been putting in. So what was it like winning the belt at not only against arguably the best player in the Innergeekdom game, but at a live event in front of, the diehard fans at San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah. I think it's tough because, I'm the character that I am on that show and who I am. And I know Kristen wants us to be that. But sometimes, emotion takes over. And I just saw some of the – I've not watched the match yet since then. I just haven't had a chance to look at it. I'm not one of those people that don't watch the matches. I do watch them again. Usually I watch them to find my mistakes that I made during the match and to see what I can do for the next match. But the pictures and the video, it was just, I don't remember a lot of what happened after, I know when DC for your 3-point question, Mike, in the category of DC, I knew, I was like, oh, I've got it. But I also didn't, want to jump the gun. A lot of people call me out. They're like, oh, you could see in his face because they said Superman. And if it was Superman the movie, he wouldn't have got it. But I knew Jackie Cooper. But in my head, I was just like, oh, it's Jackie Cooper. But I was trying to think of his name because I remember Roca had a question about Jackie Cooper years ago in the Schmoedown, and I remember it stuck in my head. I was just trying to pull it. I might have had to use a JT at that point, but I would have got there. Mm-hmm. But when they said Superman Returns, it was over. But it's bittersweet because it's Rachel, and if there's anyone I ever want to face, it's Rachel. Whether I lose or win to her, she's like a class professional. We're wonderful friends, and I had that big thing with her after my loss to her the first time, and I play the heel and don't really talk to her before the matches, and I didn't want to lose her as a friendship, and this was that moment of when I hugged her and what we were saying to each other in that moment is one I'll always remember. But for me, and I'll say it now because a lot of people didn't feel I deserved to be the champion the first time I won the belt. They thought, whether they understood the storyline of what had happened, I was supposed to face Inman for a number 1 contender match, and that did not happen. And I was ready for that. I wanted to do that. And Christian came to us with the storylines, and I wanted to talk to the girls because it involved Rachel and Mara and make sure we're all on the same page. And I didn't want to go through it if we weren't, and we were, and we went. And fans don't understand, some of the fans, I should say, don't understand storyline. And they just thought I usurped a number 1 contender match, and so there was a lot of that. You didn't deserve this belt. When I came out at the New York event, there was the chance of you don't deserve it. And so
that was not something I liked about.
I was there chanting, "You deserve it."
100%. Yeah,
I get it because people love Mara. I get it. So I just I'm the bad guy, and I got to take it, and I did. But then I says, you know what? I'm going for it again, and then people started a chant of "You deserve it" at the Comic-Con, and it just all hit me. I was able to do it the right way, and I don't say the right way because the story is the story, and that's always what we're about, and it's that. But I was able to do it in a way that I earned it. So if I ever lose the belt again, it doesn't matter to me. I have achieved what I wanted to, and well, but I shouldn't say that. I want to be the first Innergeekdom champion to defend his belt because no one's ever defended it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my next goal, is to be able to defend it again, and that way I can claim that right, be the first IG player to defend his belt. So that's my next step as far as Innergeekdom. But yeah, it was wonderful. It's Comic-Con. It took a little bit away from Comic-Con for me because I don't know if you saw some of my posts. I was posting pictures of me studying at the pool. So I would take a break and study, and I was studying. And people asked, like, is this going to mess your head because you're at Comic-Con? It's like, no, because when you're at Comic-Con, it's all around you.
Mm-hmm.
The TV, the characters. So I could see a poster for, Captain Marvel, and I'm like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel is this. He came out this year, directed by this person, scores by this person. So it was always in my head.
Mm-hmm.
The weekend. It was a weird vibe because it was Saturday night. We had pushed a little bit back for Hall H, so a lot of people hadn't gotten there yet. I think if we ever do one at Comic-Con, I don't know if I'll ever do it again, just because it did kind of dominate my Comic-Con experience. But I won, and it made it worthwhile. I think having a Comic-Con is great, especially IG. I just think we need to do it like a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Closer,
like a preview night instead of a main event night.
And and putting it in the Gas Lamp District.
Okay.
Somewhere closer. I think we were a little far away, but that's out of our control, and that was for, that's way out of our control.
Right.
And Christian did best that he could do, and I think the fans were amazing. I'm a little torn about live events because I know that the way that they're structured, the people pay for VIP packages and they get to meet Christian and Mark, and they have the little thing beforehand. I love meeting people. Like anyone that went to New York, I wasn't even competing, but I love just to go outside and talk to every single person I can talk to, because I think you should get that benefit. But I also get, paying a little more, you get the extra stuff. So I enjoy to. So there's so many fans. If you guys are watching this of Comic-Con, that if you were there and I couldn't see you guys, I apologize. Like that. You gotta get a new picture with the new belt. With me.
I do.
So yeah, I love it. I love the fans. I was walking in and I had met so many people outside, and I love the fans. I love talking to people, and it gets a chance to see that I'm not the a-hole appeared on screen for a while. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, and something I've always appreciated about you, because some of the competitors, we have the benefit of knowing some of the competitors, but these after shows and all this stuff, the reactions, when there's a lot of people going against you in this space, it can kind of get on you. It can kind of drain on you. I've had my fair share of people who have been mad at me for things I've said about them, but you've always been able to separate the show from, the personality. Yeah.
It's funny because Shannon, my girlfriend, she's a wonderful kind of guide through it, because I'll see people come at me on Facebook and stuff, and I'll want to go at them really hard, and she's like, baby, they're coming at you in character. They're not attacking you in person. They're attacking the character, and I feel like they're attacking me personally. There was one or two guys that came at me, and the stuff they were just saying was not character based. It was all about me being my sportsmanship and stuff, and I had to put him in his place, or at least say it set me off like you wouldn't believe, because they were championing someone that I think is a terrible sport. And I feel, at the end of the day, all these people are my friends. I hug them after each match. I shake their hands. And it sucks. We lose, and you don't want to talk to people. I remember it was the MCU Patreon match. Rachel and I did not have a good time with that. It was awful. It was a bad, we were like, okay, we've been competing for so long. We just want to have fun. Let us just go in and have fun. And some people in the match were, out for blood. And for their right. There was Rachel and I at that table, and we are arguably two of the best competitors in IG, and so they wanted to test themselves against us, and we were just not prepared for that. So it was just not fun, and I got done with the match, and I just needed to be myself for an hour. I mean, Jay Washington came up to me, and I was like, Jay, just give me a minute, man. Just give me a minute. And we were fine an hour later. Yeah. Because it's like sports. You invest so much, and although I shouldn't say that about Rachel, because she doesn't really ever get upset after a match, at least not to me. So we always laugh after the match. So,
well, Rachel is just the best, so that makes sense.
And I gotta say it now. I gotta say it now, because I saw some of these people, and they're posting. They always talk about the greatest of all time. If anyone doesn't vote for Rachel, they're lying to themselves. They're lying to everybody. She's played 3 leagues, fantastic in all 3 of them. Not just like I'm making a good run. I'm making a good run right now. And if I could keep this up for a good year, sure. But Rachel does 3 leagues and has had the belts in 2 of them, and only because she hasn't done singles this year. You know, the fact that people are don't say she is. I'm like, no, I don't listen to that. You're ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. At all.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There are rumors that Mr. Merle will be putting his toe in the Innergeekdom League. And Dan to me is one of the nicest guys in this entire league. It sucks because only interactions I've had with him are these characters. My character that we didn't have any history before corruption and the Founding Fathers. I was coming in, he was kind of on his way out, and he's one of the nicest guys. And every time we match, even after the whole, Russell Gate, we shook hands and we just had such a great respect. He's such a. I think that's why the fans love him, because Christian said it best. The fans love Dan because he's a man of his word. And he has this honor about him, and he just respects the game. But yeah, I hear rumors that he's going to be dipping in IG. So I don't know.
That is kind of scary. That's a little scary.
I don't know how I feel about that. I will have to deal with it if it happens.
Yeah. So talking about good fans, Matt is arguably one of your best supporters. He's been like OG Mike Kalinowski supporter in the Schmoedown. He always fights us about it all the time. I'd like to take this opportunity to say that Matt was right. He predicted you were going to take the belt in January, and then he predicted that you were going to take it back after you lost it the first time. So Matt was right. I was wrong. All hail Matt. I want to give you a chance to ask Mike some questions here. So if there's anything you'd like to ask him, shoot.
Yeah, well, speaking as an OG Kalinowski fan, your match, I'm not sure if you saw my soul reaction, but there are a few Schmoedown matches where I got emotional. This is one I cried when you won the belt. I cried because I knew how hard you worked to get it and all. So I just wanted to tell you that if you didn't see it. So I'm so happy you got back. And for someone who now you're one of the few champions who has not only won the belt, but you've now regained it. How was it regaining the belt from winning it the first time? Like, what's the difference? Did you prefer winning it the first time or regaining it, fighting back for it?
The first time was great. It was just marred with controversy. It was the whole storyline had set that up to be that. There were things that had happened during the match at the end that it was kind of a whirlwind. I didn't know what was going on. This second match was so much more. It was that I didn't have that. I know it is so petty, guys. It's so petty. But whenever you look at some of the desk when they're sitting there with Christian and Mark and those guys, and they call the matches, there's the winners up there, and they all have the one with the belt they're holding up and it says winner. And I didn't have that moment, just because things kind of went off the rails. It was just. For whatever reasons.
I don't think that's petty at all. But
it's not a matter of that. There was a lot going on because I thought, and I'd said, after every match, I always, people give me such crap. They're like, oh, Kalinowski's the heel, but he goes and hugs and shakes people's hands after a match. It's like, what do you want me to do? Spit in their face and walk off? I had fun at the beginning and worked into the character because of at the first couple matches of IG where I was just coming in on a roll. But, it's anyone that faces me on that table is a worthy opponent. I mean, they deserve to be there, deserve a handshake. I'll talk smack in the post-interview, and I'll talk smack online. But when you're at that table, that's two I say fighters, 2 warriors, and we're just putting it all out there. And there's nothing but respect. So it was a little weird just because I felt like, oh, something's not right here. I don't know what I did at that point. I was just like, oh, well, let's go to our respective corners, like they do in boxing, and we'll just hash it out later. And so it was a little weird. I didn't know what was happening. And later I found out, extenuating circumstances with stuff. So I was like, and it sucks, and I don't want that to ever happen like that. I regret it. So the win at Comic-Con, because Rachel and I did not talk before the match at Comic-Con. I've always kind of respect people in their spaces, and I kind of keep to myself. I put headphones in, and Shannon and I were in the dressing room. That's funny. Smets and I were actually quizzing each other before the match. That guy, man, I tell you, as much as I should be scared of him, we get along so well.
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
Kevin's a good guy.
Quizzing each other. We after one match, we went to Barney's over across the street, and we were sitting there trying to stump each other with the hardest deep cuts we could do. And it was just a blast. But you guys know it's the show, and so for Rachel and I, we didn't talk at all. I didn't realize that she's mad at me, and I know, as you guys know, Rachel's said on many occasions how she feels live. She hates it. And I said, Rachel, if Rachel and I went one-on-one in an Iron Man match, no speed round, no betting round, I'm a Rachel fan, and I don't know if I don't know if I beat her. I don't know. It depends. It depends on if it was 10. If it was a fair amount from each category, maybe I could pull through. I don't know, but and that's why people always say like, oh, speed round sucks, and they said that because Rachel lost on it to me, and I'm just like, it's just trivia then. It's all Iron Man matches. I say this, I give the best analogy. I said, so basically to some of these guys, I said, okay, you guys want a basketball game, but you just want a free throw competition. You want everyone gets the same amount of shots at the same point from the same distance, and you just go. That's not a basketball game. It's strategy. Yeah. It's skill. It's getting in your opponent's head. That's why people love Guy and they love Ben Bateman. I mean, I remember playing Bateman back against teams, and man, the two of them got so under my skin during the match. Oh, it was just frustrating, But and Rachel, I knew live is not her thing, and it is my thing, and I knew I was like, that's my one advantage. I got to press that. I was at ease. I was comfortable, but again, we hadn't talked, and in my head, kind of, I'm like, my Shannon says it to me. She's like, you can't go easy on Rachel. Don't let your friendship go easy. And she didn't mean that she loves Rachel. They love each other. And she's right. I can't play like, well, I know she doesn't like it live, so let me not. But I say that, but then she got digs at me during the match, so I'm sorry. And that starts your question. I'm like, wait a second. Did they want the names? She's like, oh, I know it's Robert Renee. And I was like, oh, she was throwing some shade, and she handled her own. So she does not give herself enough credit.
No, not at all.
But to answer to the long wind to your question, yes, it was wonderful to win it live, to see the chance. And then there was one guy, I'm forgetting his name right now. He sent a reaction video. He's filming himself, and he's crying in the audience. I'm crying. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, if I ever lose the belt or win it again, I don't know if I'll ever have the same effect. I just don't, because it's like it's Comic-Con, it's geeks, it's me, it's winning it back against Rachel, I'm the best opponent. I don't think it gets better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% with you guys. It was one of the most emotional kind of reactions to a match I've had in a long time. Yeah. One, because Rachel lost, but also you just could see it on your face how, happy you were to have the belt. And then, Shannon came out and you guys had that great moment together. And it was so touching. So I did want to ask, just what this victory means to her as well. Like her role in helping you train for this has been pretty, They
want to know your opinions and stuff. So it's like, look, she puts up with a lot because, we sacrifice. It's like anytime I'm home, I'm watching 2 or 3 movies a night. And sometimes she loves them. Sometimes she watches and she loves them. And other times she's like, okay, I'm going to bed. This is ridiculous. I gotta watch Ghost Rider or something.
Yeah, that would do it.
she's my Adrian, as I say with the Rocky reference. She's always there for me. She's always in my corner. Cool. She's always the one, and I have to, when I'm sitting, especially in studio, she's kind of opposite where I'm sitting, because whenever I start getting in my head or I start getting frustrated, she looks at me, she just goes, calm down, breathe, you got it. And I can see her in the corner. I see her. So, but she does not want to be a part of it. And it's so funny you say that, because Christian, when I brought her out there, she didn't know I was going to bring her out there, and I had to do it. And Christian says, guys, when I saw you walking out there, Shannon, I started getting ideas in my head for storyline. And then like, I watch you come in, and she's like, nope, not doing it. She's like, cheer him on, and I'll go into the Facebook pages, and I'll talk. She's like, I am not coming into this thing. And we were joking, like, oh, what if you're the one that breaks, like, you put in his head that corruption sucks, and they're using him, and she takes you away from corruption, and she's like, no, the fans would absolutely hate me, they destroy me on social media, so she doesn't want to be a part of it. And I was cool with it. I was like, all right, come on in, so she's my Adrian. She's always going to be a part of it, but never wants the But she quizzes me like the Smets match. Before that match, an hour before, my last thing was, okay, who composed Jerry Goldsmith? What did he compose? And that won me the match. So
it's basically at that point fate,
Yeah, she puts up with it, and she's the best. Like Ken says, destiny and fate. So
yeah,
or truth and destiny. Sorry, truth and destiny.
Yeah, that's honestly just really sweet, and for me, that was just one of the most touching moments to see you guys and just her sharing in your victory. But then I need to
now I need to like take that moment and put like the Rocky music from the end of the first movie where they're like, "I love you."
So I went from a range of emotions, sadness to happiness to crying because everything was so cute, and then confusion because Mara comes out of nowhere, and I think a lot of people were thinking maybe it was going to be Inman. In my head, I'm like, he wants nothing to do with the league. He's got his own life. He's got so much going on. I can't imagine he wants something. And so I was shocked. I was so shocked. And then Mara came out, and I was just like, okay, wow, that's a left turn. I had no idea this was coming. So what's up with that challenge? Do you have anything further you'd like to say about it? Were you expecting it?
Well, first of all, no, I was not. The Inman, I called Inman out, and it was done out of respect. Inman was one of my friends that I did not know before the show, but I knew of him because I was a DC guy. I knew this guy, and I would see him at the matches. I was like, that's Jason Inman from DC. I was like, oh my God. So we got to be friends. And he was one of the competitors that was kind of on his way out as I was coming in. And there's been some weirdness lately. I don't know online, or people are pitting us against each other. I think he's trying to distance himself from the Schmoedown, but because I am what I am now in the Innergeekdom, and he was one of the greats, the fans put that together, and they reach out to him. They probably inundate him. And I saw there was his Instagram ask me questions thing, and someone said about Innergeekdom, and he kind of seemed whether he just got bothered by it. And I hope he has nothing personal against me, because I have nothing but respect for him, like every competitor in this league. I did that as fun. Like Kristen called it was a shot. Kristen and I was going to do it. Because for me, it's bittersweet because I never got to face him. Not a matter of I want to see who's better. I need to be the best out of everyone. I was like, I never got to face him at the table, man. It's like so far, but like people like Roca, I've never faced him alone. I've never faced Riley. Wow. I've never faced Riley. These guys that I love and they look up to, and I think they're phenomenal competitors. I've never got to play them. And Inman had left, and I was dying to do a number one contender match after Mara's victory. I wanted that, and work for him who had just taken over. And I respect that, because what I love is he says I don't have time. I can't study. I'm not going to come at him, Mike, half-assed. I love that. So that was just an open, hey, no belts, no anything. Let's just play a game,
It's the end of Rocky 3 to make another Rocky reference.
It's Apollo and Rocky. That's what it is. There you go. So Smets to me was Drago. That's just Drago. But Inman to me, he'll be Apollo to me. I really enjoy his friendship, and I hope the fans don't push too hard against it, because I know he's on to other things,
Yeah, he's so busy.
There's nothing respect that I have for him, and if I were to ever have a match, it would just be exhibition. Let's just have fun. But I'm sorry, to your question tomorrow. I did not see her backstage before the match, and again, I was kind of secluded in my own little world. And Mara, the fans love her because she's that dry wit, understated. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, oh, and then I never know what to do with Mara. I don't know if she went to shake my hand, but I think she said something about her hands being cold. I thought she wanted to touch the belt, so I was ready to make a joke about that. But then her hands are cold, and she feels she's earned a title shot. But like I said, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of other stuff in the air right now as far as how that's going to play out. There are competitors that are now coming up. I don't know. I just if I'm gonna have to, if I face her, I have to. I don't know. I cannot give you an answer as to what will happen with that. The kind of thing is, I set my goal on IG to get the belt back. I got the belt back. Now I've got teams to focus on. And then this Mikey 3 belt.
Singles.
I did not plan on a singles run. I said at the beginning of the year, I said I'm going to get my Innergeekdom belt back. And I said I'm going to get Chance and I are going to be those team champions. I've accomplished one of those things. And now I've got 4 or 5 months to get the other thing going. And so then the singles thing came up. And I'm not going to shrink from a challenge. So we're going for 3 belts then, I guess.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about that, but we just want to make sure there's so many rookies in Innergeekdom right now, and there are some of them who are fairly impressive. Our good friend Brandon Hanna made a really great debut.
Friend, huh?
Yeah.
Now, Matt, was it you or was it? I think it might have been Thomas Scully. Remembered that I was toying with the idea of doing the cute little whiteboard with the names and the crossing off the hit. Like, yeah, that's a gimmick. I don't need that. So I'm nice to see that someone's got a gimmick. But I love the fact that people call me Vanilla and White Bread. Have you seen him during a match? Have you seen it? I'm like, if we're kind of, let's. That guy's like a water cracker. I'm at least a Ritz. We're talking, being crackers up there. I'm a Ritz. I'm Italian.
Amazing. You got like the buttery exterior.
Charcuterie board over here. I got some meat on cheese. He's a water cracker. No salt on it.
Amazing.
Cracker. That guy. Yeah, he's good. I'll give him that.
He had a good debut. Yeah.
He's good. I don't not watch these people.
Yeah.
Trust me. There are no one that I don't watch. Chandru, that kid's good, man. They're good. I think. Do we know what Brandon's next match is? Is it against
Emily Rose Jacobson? Is coming up.
Okay, and Chandru's got a 3-way that's out right now, right? That just dropped recently.
It's on the Patreon. Depending on when this interview goes up, it'll be up on Thursday live for everybody.
Okay. So I know that happened
with the crazy guy and David Moore.
Yeah, I would love to. And David Moore, I just think he
was good too.
And that's the thing, is I don't think he knows the game yet.
Yeah, you could tell. His first match, he was very like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Jim Voyage, Matt Atchity.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Okay.
He is great, but he doesn't know the game.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He's asking a multiple choice in round 3. If that guy focused, I know we all have careers. I get that. We all, it's like, I should say this. I think it's a disservice. Some people like bash other people like, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm this. And it's like, we all have jobs. Mm-hmm. Everyone's got a job. Everyone's doing something. It's just.
It's all about how much you want to invest in it. Yeah.
And for me, it worked out well. It's like my jobs that I have allow a lot of downtime between like shows that I do or stuff like that. So it is but he was really good. He's scary good. He just doesn't know the game. Yeah. So I think David Moore has the potential to be very good.
Yeah, if he can study the game. Yeah. Because there's a lot of strategy that goes into these matches that a lot of people don't think about. And if you're not in tune with the game, it can be really hard to be as competitive as you really should be. I watched
a match recently. I was going back watching some old matches, and he answered a question, but the other competitor jumped and said he got it wrong before he finished his actual, before he stepped back, he's like, okay, is that right or wrong? Mm-hmm. And the table stopped and was like, did you give us your final answer? And the other composer was like, no, he did. That's wrong. And watching it. And the guy says, okay, yeah, and he got it wrong. But I was like, ooh, in that moment, he could have said, nope, repeat the question.
Right.
It's not finished. And that other component, there might have been some challenges, but I was like, no, we clearly did not get his final answer.
Right.
He could have stretched it out and worded it right. Mm-hmm. So got to learn to play the game. And that's what I love when I watch old matches. I was like there's competitors that they'll do the betting round, and they'll be on their last question. They'll go, you know what? I want multiple choice, but I cannot give him 1 point. I'll take the 2 points that I'm going to miss. You got to know stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's David Moore. Chandru's great. Chandru's really good. Hannah's great. So, yeah, there are a lot of up-and-comers. They're nowhere close to me or Rachel or even Smith. So
yeah. Well, they're new. They're little babies. They have to grow into it.
We'll see what happens to them. We'll see what happens.
I'm sure Brandon's going to love that I'm calling him a baby more than I have already done so. His nickname was Boss Baby. For me, that's what I always called him. So he loves it. It's his favorite thing in the whole world. So Matt has a couple questions about your Yeah, it is. Matt has a couple questions about your upcoming matches against Ben and then potentially a match against Paul. Matthew, why don't you take it away?
Okay, so, so you have a match coming up right now against Ben Bateman, someone who you talked about. You've faced in teams twice before, once at DC Movie News and once as Corruption. This is the first time you're going to be playing him in singles. Right. How are you feeling for that? You already mentioned before that Ben is one of the people who really gets the mind games. How are you prepping for that now that you won't have Riley or Guy with him?
It's funny because he has had a change of heart. He's not the guy he was before. I watched his recent match against, and I was not going to come at him, people like to label me a heel. He's like, oh, he's a face now. It's like, I'm my own thing. You can call me whatever you want. I'm my own thing. I don't know. I mean, he came at me kind of on Instagram, about that whole, it's like, I was perfect in my last, I was, 90% in my last match. I was like, well, in my last match that wasn't Innergeekdom, I just had a perfect game. So let's go at it, pal. Ben he's a good competitor, but he's one of those people that people have said now he has played the game so much and he's so well, but he doesn't have a belt yet. I think Draco was the last person before him, and Draco got his belt. So who knows? I mean, the mind games are going to be there. I mean, but like I said, I play Ben on that table, and he plays the game better than anyone I think plays that game, because he does those moments where he just takes his time and he takes all the 15 seconds, and you're like, oh, does he not know it? Does he not know it? Oh, he knows it. That jerk, and the old me would get riled by that, and it would eat at me. So I've got to be on my guard for that. I can't. But singles is so. It's like you can't study for it. People ask me, like, do you study? I was like, I don't study for singles. I can't. There's nothing you can do. I can't study like I study for Innergeekdom. Like, I watch Innergeekdom, and a 2-hour movie in Innergeekdom probably takes me about 3 to 3.5 hours to watch normally, because I'm pausing, rewinding, subtitles, writing down, and I don't do that for regular movies. I can't. But then, so he's got movie release dates, which I'm actually really good at. And it's funny with movie release dates, because people do them, and a couple people have gotten them and gotten really good at that's their thing. Movie release dates are not easy, but you can, if you've grown up watching movies, you can do well. It's not difficult, and I don't say that. That's why we've talked about this. We've taken that out of Innergeekdom for championships. It's not in there because it's an easy perfect round. Mm-hmm. And both Rachel and I said no, don't. And Smets and I are like, nope, don't put it in. We don't want it. We don't want to win on movie release dates. Yeah. Because if you're in Innergeekdom and you want to be a champ, you should know every single movie release date. It's 100, 200 films. You should be able to do it, and everything is grouped together. Harry Potter, Star Wars. You should know. So that's his strength. He'll probably put Oscars on there. I've been getting a lot of crap too, because people have been coming at me because I do Bond, and I've had it come my way quite often. And you know what I say? That's like, I could care less. They can bitch all they want, because when I played Clark and she spun horror, it's like, that's your strength. Own that. And it's not like Bond's 5 movies. It's 25 movies over six decades that don't play on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu. That is my category, and if there are competitors that want to watch all 26 and know them as well as I do, go for it. Mr. Outlaw himself kind of came at me on Twitter during Comic-Con saying, it's basically getting Spinner's Choice. And I said, it's like Spinner's Choice, so you think it's Spinner's Choice every time? And I stepped away, and some of the other fans just, Helen, if you're listening to this, she went after him. I will forever put that on that wheel, but I also made a challenge to Ben. I said, okay. He kind of called me out on Bond. I was like, I'm willing to take Bond off that wheel. I'll take comic book movies off if you take Oscars and movie release dates off. I haven't heard from him yet. And I'm willing to take it off. I'm willing to go for it, But his strength is his strength, man.
Yeah. That's why you put it on there. You put it on there.
Ben is he's not stupid. He'll study Bond. He'll at least IMDb Bond, so you get the names of all the characters and the directors. So he's not dumb. But yeah, so I'm feeling. So let's see. So I've got Ben, and the winner of Ben and I plays Snyder, which I've never fought. He is a wild card.
He's something.
Yeah,
I won't say
something.
anything. He comes after me when I say things about him, so I'm not.
He
gonna
comes
say
after
anything.
both of us, Kristen, when we say things.
I mean, his Patriots, man, they are a thing of legend.
Yeah.
But he also look how he gets riled real easily. You know, he is a competitor that constantly uses challenges. He's always looking that you're undermining him or trying to cheat one over on him. So it might be a case of, can I get in his head? You know, if I beat Ben, we'll see what happens. I mean, I got to Ben is. I don't know who I fear more. I don't want to say fear, but I don't know who I'm worried more about. I don't know. Ben keeps his composure. So, and then there's Oyama, who is a wonder kind. This kid, man. I don't know. I do not know. I have never seen him play live. His speed round was really good against Dan, though. So, you know, he took my boy Chance down. You know, it came down to that last question with Chance, and Chance quizzes me all the time, and Chance is a genius. That kid's, the knowledge that he has at his age, it's insane. Mm-hmm. So for me, you know, Ben is going to come. Ben, I say this: if there was any competitor in singles, Ben and I feel the most evenly matched. As far as I'm a little older than him, but I'd say 80s onward we're really good at. We have weaknesses are very similar. You know, westerns, biopics, that kind of stuff.
The Roca selection.
I was literally about to say Roca Stripes.
But like, he's good at comic book movies. He's not bad at it. You know, action adventure, we're both really good. Fantasy sci-fi, dramas, thrillers. So Ben and I feel, are evenly matched. Snyder, if I can
he's a crazy guy.
If I can comic book movies or Bond, it's over. Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it. If he spins one of those, he's done. It is over. I'll say that right now. The match is over if he spins one of those, or if I can get it to get him one of those. He's gone. Mm-hmm. But then Oyama, I have no idea. I'm not even thinking that far ahead right now. It's like, you know, like I said, this kind of Mikey 3 belts was here, and I got to run with it, and got a lot of focus on teams right now. But I got a chance in my corner. But so let me ask you guys this. So Oyama's won what, 6 in a row?
Yeah.
6-0.
5-0? 6?
5-0?
He did 4 to get to the belts, and then he won the belts with 5, I think.
So I think it's 5.
Yeah. It's still ridiculous.
No, insane. In singles. Mm-hmm. Mara does the same in Innergeekdom. 5, right? Boy, Emma.
She got 4 in a row. And then the last match, she lost, right?
5. Koi.
It was 5? Okay.
I think it's Koi and then Emma. Or was it Koi and Rachel?
I don't know that she's ever played Emma. I'd have to look it up. We don't have a resident Schmoedown expert in the corner for us today.
Whoa. Stop. Let me stop you right there, Kristen.
Rachel was not her second match. There was someone in between Koi and Rachel.
I'd have to look it up.
I was the 4th match. And that was the loss for me. And then she won against Emma. So that was 5 wins. So she's 5-0. And she was 5-0, and so was Oyama 5-0. And now, if you look at the two competitors in Innergeekdom, which she did, and her first couple matches were not bad at all, but they were could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. You know, then the Rachel was phenomenal. My match went to sudden death. But she did the same thing Oyama did in a not as competitive league. Oyama does not nearly get the credit or the accolades that she got. And it's interesting. And I don't know what this is a character thing, because people don't like his character. They didn't like him from the beginning. The sunglasses, the kind of attitude.
The Chance Part 2.
Right. And Mara won the fans over the minute she opened her mouth.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious if this is storyline, you know, because on the other hand, Rachel gets so much crap, and I think it has a lot to do with her being a woman. And I've no problem saying this. She gets so much flack, like, oh, she chokes, this and that. But if Dan Murrell on the other end, who's wonderful, very same on with Rachel, they cut him so much more slack than they cut Rachel. Mm-hmm. But they treat Mara differently than they treat Oyama. And to me, it's fascinating because Oyama, there's not much talk about him.
Yeah.
Out there. Like that he beat 5 competitors and Murrell to get this belt. It's insane. That's insane to me. And I don't know if it's the fans just don't take to him. So that to me is, for me as a fan of the Schmoedown, because I'm not just a competitor, I love the Schmoedown. I watch it. I love the matches when I'm there. I have my favorites. I have people I don't like as competitors, not as people.
Yeah.
But watching it, I have nothing but respect for the kid, but I just don't. It's so fascinating to me to see they both are champions, similar runs. Arguably, you could argue, and I can say this because I play both. Innergeekdom is deeper cuts, but it's studyable. It's studyable. Singles is not.
Yeah.
So I'm very torn on that. I'm very curious why she has this love of her, and people are like, oh yeah, I don't give a who cares? He'll lose it soon. I'm like, oh. Very interesting.
Speaking of someone who, I'll take this first, Kristen, speaking of someone who's been a steady watcher and analyst of this stuff since 2016, and been on the MTS page since 2016, we make no sense as Schmoedown fans. It is so weird, the things for the people that will let slide, and then the things for the people we won't let slide, and I think a lot of times it comes down to who your favorites are.
Yeah, you're right, buddy. I have to cut myself off from that because there will people that will forever think Rachel is better than me, and that's okay. There are people that say that Smets is better than me, and there are people, and that's why I made that post about my corruption page, because my fans of the corruption group I think are the best because they don't make excuses for me when I lose. They don't. They don't say it's like, oh, Mike wasn't feeling good. Mike had to work all day. And I don't want excuses. If I lose, I lose, As long as it's a good match, solid questions, and I lose, that's fine. But there are people that will always hate me. It's funny, though, I shouldn't say that, because there are people now that are like, you know what, Mike, I hate you. I hate your character sucks. But I give it to you, man. I got to give you credit. You have done what you are playing at a different level than you've ever played before. And someone said it best. They said, for me, and I took this to heart, I get so many of these posts now from fans, these long, about what they're dealing with in their life, and to see me do what I do. And I'm going to say something. You guys know I'm an actor, and I do this for a living. And my day job is I work for theme parks. I work for Universal. I work for Disney. And, there came a time in my life I was thinking about it. I was like, there are people out there, the doctors, there's lawyers, there's nurses. Like Shannon, she's a nurse, helps people with her life. And I dress up in costumes and entertain people. And I love my job, and it's what I do. And I was like, it's like, well, I'm not really doing anything with that. And someone says, like, well, Mike, think about it this way. You're an entertainer. And I try to tell this to the Schmoedown, my fellow competitors. It's like, there are certain people out there, maybe, especially that they were saying for the theme parks, it's like, they might save up all year for this trip. And their lives job might suck, but they come to that park for a week, and they lose themselves, and you entertain them. And you've changed something. You've made them feel joy. So for me as an actor, that's what I love, and I love that Christian allows us to do stuff like this, and I love meeting the fans. We entertain, and I get all these people now coming to me like, Kalinowski, my life, my girlfriend broke up with me, or lost my job, but I got to come home for 2 hours and watch the Schmoedown, and it's awesome, and I love that. So I don't know how I got off on this tangent about fans. It's about fans.
That's perfect.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story, Mike, but I'm one of those people.
Don't make me cry here, aren't you? Don't make me do it. Don't make me cry.
2 years ago, I lost my uncle to 9/11 related cancer, and the day of the wake was the day your first match against Rachel in Innergeekdom happened.
I remember you told me you did, yeah.
Yeah, and you spend the entire day, you're depressed, and the ride home, I watched it, and it just, for that, probably had to be under an hour, I just forgot about everything.
Yeah.
You guys are all doing great work.
And I love it. And I try, and that's why I tell some of the people that, fellow competitors, and even if they lose, it's like, there are people out there that, and, some guy, and I tend to go off on people on Twitter, not just Schmoedown, it's other stuff. And this one guy came to me, I said something regarding, Trump recently, and he's like, all you're good at is you brain dead CNN drone, all you're good at is answering movie trivia. Is like, and he took that like as an insult to me. He's like, it's not an insult. I get to meet people from all over the world. I mean, I had people, I do this show at Universal. I've met so many people that come up to me after the show. They're like, my stage manager's like, hey, Mike, there's some guests out want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, I just think they're from the shows. And they're like, oh, Mike, it's the killer. I met people and they want to take pictures. So I meet people from all over the world, and my job allows that. And it's wonderful that the job and the Schmoedown all combines. And it, for me as an actor, I have an audience for the stuff that I would want to do, and people, they're posting stuff from Jane the Virgin that they were watching and I was on, and it's kind of like all cyclical for me, and I think it's wonderful. I love these people, and that's why I love the live events, because I can meet people and they see that the person I am, and it's not the guy that's treating people like crap in the Schmoedown. And I love that. I'm forever grateful for Christian bringing me into this. I'll always be there for him. I've told him this, whatever he needs me to do for the Schmoedown, I'll do it. I love what I do. I love the Schmoedown. I love everybody, even though some people don't. And it's there's a lot of the people that don't like me are European. It's weird. There's been a handful of people that really come hard at me on the Facebook stuff, and they're all from Europe. I don't know. Maybe they're not understanding sarcasm. I don't know. He's like, this asshole. He calls a sheep. What the fuck? And I was like, maybe they just don't get sarcasm, but oh well.
Maybe they take sheep very seriously wherever they're from.
I'm waiting.
Who knows?
It's alive if somebody comes up and punches me. I'm waiting for. He just doesn't understand everything. So I'm like,
yeah, I don't think. I hope that would never happen. BZ would probably be there, and he would dominate someone if that happened.
Oh, Jay Walker would come up, and body slam the guy.
Yeah, so. Jay and BC would take them out for sure.
Just speaking of acting, I'll still never forget my mom watches General Hospital every day. I'll never forget coming home. A year episode came out. I was like, oh my god, it's Mike. It's Kalinowski. I was like, what? Who cares? I was like, no, it's Mike. It's from Schmoedown.
The Schmoedown honestly has brought a lot of friends to, I know a lot of people, but myself, and it's something that I can never repay. And it's such a weird thing to say about a show on the internet, but really it is, because some of the best friends I've ever had.
It's, and it's, the people that, that's the great thing is I don't think people talk down about it. I think we're this interesting phase where we're really growing now. We just it's one of those things that could take off, and I know Christian's got huge plans for it. Just to see what he's done in a year with it. We don't even we used to tape in between stuff at Collider. Now we got a whole day dedicated to it, and Megan, who's kind of the production coordinator. I don't know if you guys ever met her. She's like this glue. I think I want to say, because I met her when she used to work for the theater here in LA. I think she might have been their person that would do it, and he brought her on.
I think so.
She is.
She's like a walking PDA. People don't use those anymore, but if they did, she would be one.
Our tech crew, everyone over there, the tech crew, just such a great group of people. So it's, it's growing. So the other day, now I'm meeting people that are doing videos for us, and Nerd Chronic is there as well, and all these guys. So yeah, it's really growing, and I'm very happy and fortunate to be a part of it from this stage. So.
Yeah, I mean,
going on.
But
we're gonna keep getting people like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna transition to the teams match, because as much as it's growing, this teams match is huge. There's a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of stuff going on with this thing, because I mean, the Shire Wolves are one of the best teams out there. Besides the Patriots, they're legitimately one of the best teams out there. And Corruption, man, you guys have had ups and downs and been through the ringer and, come out the other side of it. And now you're here. You've faced, two of the scariest people in the Schmoedown to get here.
Twice.
So you talk, twice. Yeah. You talk about the Schmoedown growing. A year ago, I never would have thought this match would happen. And now we're at this point where you can see this thing happening. And it's just really exciting to see two women, the first women champions in teams, against yourself and someone from the fan leagues. This is such a crazy match. All over, it's a crazy match. What are your thoughts about this? Because there's no date for it yet, so who knows when it's going to happen, but...
We are up in the air with that. It's interesting because I remember back my last singles match, aside from Janine, was against Clark, and I can tell you, I didn't even give thought to it that it was a number one contender match. Like, I could have beat her and gone for a title shot. Like, that shows you back then that I'm a different competitor than I am now. But Clark is a force, man, and her and Rachel, and I'm glad they they've earned the respect of everyone, because there was the whole paper champions crap that they dealt with at the beginning. Yeah. They didn't tell Sam and Drew to retire. They did that, but they were forced with that. But they have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are the team champions, giving the Patriots a run for the money. I'm upset that the Lion, what are those clowns' names?
Patriots?
Draco.
The odd couple.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
The other guy.
I did not want them to lose the belt.
Yeah.
We had a better shot of beating them than we do Shirewolves. We could have torn them apart because Chance gets under people's skin. And I don't know what it is that he does. I don't know if it's because he's young and cocky.
I know what it is.
He gets under those guys' skin. And I've taught him against Roka in this last match. And I'll say this when we talk about that match. I told him, and him and Roka have beef. You've seen it. We've all seen it. And I sat him down. I said, do not let Roka get to you. Do not. You sit there with your sunglasses on and your hat, and you play how you play this damn game. And, Roka's one of my best friends, but you saw what happened when he started getting riled up. And it just went from there.
That's my biggest pet peeve of his.
It's my favorite thing about him.
Duke and the Wednesday, I'm telling you this to your fans right now, I guessed on those. I put 2 and 2 together, like what day do we wear pink? I used what I've learned from the greats of the Schmoedown, like Dan Murrell. You analyze, like, okay, it's Monday through Friday because of the school. They close the school, so I got 5 days right there. It's not Monday because I'm not going to wear pink back the first day back from the weekend. Wednesday, it's not Friday because that's too obvious. Like, we wear pink on Fridays, it's the end of the day. That's too generic. So I was like, well, let's go Wednesday. It's the middle of the week because it's hump day. It gets us through the week. Here's something cheery to get us through. And it was right, but it was a guess. I did not know that. And the Babadook, I just remembered, like, paper, the doll, what it looked like. So both those were guesses, but it got to Roka. And he started kind of acting up a little bit. And once I knew that, I pulled Chance over and I go, we've got them. We have them. Just keep playing right. Keep playing what we're doing, buddy. Because it works. And so that's why with the Odd Couple, we can rile them up. And when they lost on that towel question, I'm like, it's towels. That movie, it's a Christmas classic. It's towels. And that's why she thought people were attacking her kind of because she kept saying towels, like to rub it in. No, she just loved the movies. If you know that movie, it's it's an
iconic thing in that movie.
Yeah, it's like.
And I will say this, not that it matters because playing is different. But Chance and I sat there playing with each other, not like that.
We get you. We understand.
We would have beaten them both. We would have beaten them both. We did really well. But again, I started doing that and I stopped because that doesn't do a damn thing. You're like, I've done that watching Rachel and Smets, and I had this but I don't say anything to anyone because it doesn't matter. I'm sitting in the audience without the lights. It's a different thing. But Chance and I, we now have found our groove. It took us a while to get there. We are playing, we know each other. We know our strengths, our weaknesses. We're ready to go. We're ready to take these girls. I hope it's going to be live. Because that's another thing against Rachel. I love Rachel, but I hope we play live because we can use that. Clark
she would have to agree to it. I think.
I know she would. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to happen. I want another win against Rachel. She has 3 wins against me, right?
Yeah.
Those are the stats I refuse to remember about the Schmoedown.
Rub that in every chance she gets. I have 1 win against her, so I'd like to have another.
So does Kristen.
I would love to double belt that. I'd love to be. Has Dan ever been double belted singles and teams?
No.
Okay, so I would love to be the first male to be double belted.
So this leads us into something though, because you are legitimately the first it leads us into something. You're legitimately the first person in Schmoedown history to actually have a road to having 3 belts.
Yeah.
It's not even just 2 belts. It's not even by the end of the season they can have 3 belts. You are on a road to have 3 belts potentially. You are within 1 match of teams. You're within 3 matches of singles.
4 matches left. James spent this great poster at the live event. It was all the names who I have and either targets or crossed out. So I've got 4 matches left. I mean that is I don't know how you're feeling about this because Innergeekdom you're not really going to have to go up against anyone while these tournaments are going on. You have a little bit of a break, but at the same time you really don't because you have all these matches coming up. But is it in your head at all, this 3 belt thing, or are you just focusing on the matches you have coming up? I was talking to Rachel the other night, and once you reach a certain level in the Schmoedown, it becomes an extra level of stress because then when you lose at such a high level, then the fans they suck. They couldn't handle the pressure. they sucked. We knew we couldn't do it because let's say I play singles and I lose it. It's like, oh, no more Mikey 3 belts, only Mikey 2 belts. And then I look at it, it's like, dude,
it's 2 belts.
It's 2 belts.
It's 1 belt. I am a champion. Go kiss my ass. Sorry for that, but I was like, no, I've earned my place. One of the fans said it best, and he wasn't even reaching out to me. He wrote this post. He's like, Kalinowski has cemented himself as a legend of the game. Like you look at like guys like Roca, Riley, who have not this season. They've had ups and downs, but they're forever. Even JT, who's not been around much, but his legend has kind of cemented itself. He is, and they have told me that, and to know that I've accomplished that this year, you know, I'm never going to stop playing, or I'm never going to try and be bad. But it's like I feel good reaching that level now, and for me, that's also kind of puts me at ease when I go to the table. And I was like, I've reached something that a handful of people in this league have done, and I love that. But it was a lot of work, and Shannon was there for that, and she's my rock, so she really helped me get there. But I'm not over. It's 1 belt down. I've got teams, but like I said earlier, like I can't study for this stuff. You know, I can just for me, it's making sure my strengths are my strengths, and I'm unbeatable in them. Like, it's gonna eat me up, the Alan Cummings thing, that might give me match, because I would have perfect for Bond. I'd be perfect for Bond. Yeah. Never missed a Bond question except for that, and I'm just like, what a stupid. And in my head, I knew it. I was like, that's why I waited. I was like, is it an S? Is it not an S? Do I go multiple choice? I should have just done multiple choice to get the perfect Bond, but
can't do anything about it now, right?
It can't, you know. I just enjoy my vanilla ice cream.
Matt, do you have any further questions for the killer here?
No, I can't. No, it's just, this is so great. As someone who I've loved Mike ever since his first match against Rachel B. Robinson, and now to have him be like, I was one of the few people on the polls who was like, oh, Killer's gonna beat Drew McWeeny. Like, I've been in your corner since day one, and so now it's
Drew.
Like,
what? I didn't even I didn't think I was gonna against Drew.
Dude, when Matt Kearns is in your corner, he's in your corner through thick and through freaking thin.
It's accurate. Right? Okay. Unless you play one of his other favorites and then he cries himself to sleep every night.
Who you got against Beth, Al? Who you got?
Don't do it. Guy did the same thing when he played
You're breaking
Riley.
his heart right now.
I feel like Padme Amidala right now.
We'll see. That's going to be... Of the 3 matches in singles, Ben is my toughest one, I think. That is the one I'm like, that kid... Because he's like what Roca was for that period. He is hungry. He wants a belt. Mm-hmm. And I know it's what fired me through Innergeekdom. I wanted that belt. And when I didn't get it like the right way, as people say, I wanted it even more. And bless Smets' heart. I love Smets, and he is a force, and I have no doubt that he will hold that belt one time. But you know, I wanted it, and he was just in my way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's a lot coming up. So we'll see. A lot of. I try not to think about it because I'm just gonna, you know, there's nothing you can do at this point. Nothing you can do. Just not make stupid mistakes. Know my opponent and I mean, what am I gonna do?
Well, all I know is I'm really looking forward to your run, even if I vote against you in all the polls. Just know on the inside, I believe in you, and I'm just doing it for a bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this run. At the end of the day, as it stands right now, you're in like my top 2 players of the year. Seriously, you've been so impressive this year. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. It's amazing to see how far you've come since you started playing the game to now. I can't understand how many hours you've studied for this, but let's figure out what do you have going on in your life to plug? Anything outside of the Schmoedown? I don't know how you have time for anything outside the Schmoedown.
No, my podcast DC Movie News with Roxy Stryer and Adam Gertler, my former companion, and Johnny Quasto. We're still going strong on that. It's Fridays at 1 p.m. I would definitely reach out when you can see me on stuff. It's time of year in LA where really auditions really start pouring in, which is the good time of year to be. So it's a busy time, which is great. So yeah, I would always reach out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Twitter handle, anything?
At Mike Kalinowski. It's my Instagram, my Twitter. is all the same, at Mike Kalinowski. Yep.
That's the way to do it. Matt, you want to give your plug real quick?
You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, hashtagging Kalinowski for Green Lantern. Seriously, let's do it, guys. Let's get this to happen. Matt Movie 611 on YouTube and WordPress, and right here as host of Second Look. And when Kristen doesn't want to host the summit, I also do that.
When I decide I'm too tired to do anything, which was almost today. You can find me Smith_K10, the number, not the word, Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust, even though I don't post anything on Stardust. You can also find me right here hosting this. I hope you guys liked this special version of the summit. Hopefully we can have some more interviews soon. We love doing this. We love the Schmoedown competitors. We love all the work they put into this. And it was just a great time to have Mike Kalinowski on with us. And yeah, you're the best, man. You're awesome. Looking forward to it. So yeah, that's all for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Take care.